Hello DIY friends, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to show you how to make 3 girly wall decors for a little girl's room. We're going to start off by using one 16-inch cake circle that I got from Joann on clearance, and then I'm going to attach these Dollar Tree succulent heart flower stickers onto this cake circle. This is my first time ever using or purchasing one of these cake circles, but I really like it for DIYs because there is a mini circle dead center, and this allows me to make sure whatever I'm using this for is always center. I place one half of the sticker over the mini circle in the middle and then the other half over the other side. So now I know for sure this heart is indeed dead center versus being a little bit too to the left or a little bit too to the right. Now, to cover the raw edges of this cake circle, I'm going to use this upholstery cardboard tack strip and I'm going to glue it in place. Now this tack strip is a bit wide, so I'm going to flip this thing over and I'm going to glue it on the back with the picture facing downward so that the excessive lip will be in the back. This will also be a great help with me hanging it on the wall. After gluing everything together, this is what you will have, a nice smooth edge. So now I'm going to take some of this Dollar Tree white acrylic paint and the Dollar Tree paintbrush to just swipe from left to right towards the top of the heart all the way around, not too heavy, more so I want to see the image in the back, but I want to have that cute little effect of it going across the heart. And then I'm also going to take some of this paint and I'm going to put it around this brown, but not a whole lot, because I want some of the brown to still come through because of the color of her walls. It will all go together with that brown peeping through. It will look so cute. Now it is time for me to weed this piece of contact paper that has my daughter's name on it. I originally did not like the color of it, so I painted it black just to make it look a lot more better over the white. If you're interested in learning how to do that, there is a card in the video above and also a link in my description. I think this came out so good and it looks perfect above my daughter's crib. I love when I come across unique things at Dollar Tree, and these triangle signs is no exception. I'm going to pop off that circular point at the top, and then I'm going to get my Dollar Tree sanding block to sand off that glue that was holding on that circle initially. Now after I remove that back piece, I'm going to grab my pink Dollar Tree wrapping paper and I'm going to be using this to use as the background to cover the front image of that triangle sign. So I grab my glue and I'm now going to cover all of the areas, especially all the corners, with my glue, and then I'm going to bring my sponge in to smooth this glue out to get all other areas so it could be maximum coverage. I'm going to place it down on my pink wrapping paper and then I'm going to get my scissors to start cutting out the excess paper around the triangle. Now you're going to get some white spray paint. I got this from Home Depot, and these Dollar Tree border stickers, I'm going to spray paint these white as I do not like the gold color. I went outside and did that previously, and now I'm going to take these off and align these around the triangle. Now I am going to be putting the beautiful words on top of the pink wrapping paper. I'm using my transfer tape to put them on individually as I need to position it perfectly so that it can maximize the triangle space before I put the other things on the front. Now, since that's done, I'm going to put this back into the frame so I can finish decorating it. I felt that some flowers would really do this justice, but I couldn't figure out which ones. Luckily, in my stash, I had some Dollar Tree baby's breath flowers, so I cut off a bunch of little ones without the stems so that I can position these onto the front around the words beautiful, and then I'm using my glue to position them permanently where I figured it will look about right for this wall decor. And I think it came out so cute, and it's like perfect above her bookcase. So I got this from Dollar Tree a year ago, and it was just sitting in my closet. So I'm going to be taking the home piece up top, a little wiggle, and it pops right off. It's only held by glue, and I have an extra one on the side. So these two is going to be the focal point for the next DIY. I'm using that same glue as before, and I'm putting it in the center so that I can combine these two together. Now, in order to make sure that they do not come apart, I am laying them down on a piece of cardboard, and I am applying some painter's tape to make sure that they stay together to dry. I also put something flat and heavy on top. The next thing I did was I ran this white poster board from Dollar Tree through my silhouette by cutting out some circles, and this will help me in the next step of this DIY. Now, with my Dollar Tree wall decal that has succulents and flowers, I'm going to take those individual pictures and place those on top of the circles I just cut out. So now I'm going to grab my brown Dollar Tree twine so that I can create 5 long pieces for each of these pictures for this DIY. I didn't measure, I literally guessed for each length. I found this next step to be so helpful when I was feeding this twine through the pearls that Dollar Tree sells. If you take a piece of tape and literally wrap it around each of the ends, it makes it so much harder so that you can easily feed it through the circles of each of these pearls. Each string has 5 pearls on there. So now I'm going to put 2 knots into the string to make sure the pearls do not fall off. Now that each string has pearls on there and there is 2 knots holding the pearls on, I'm going to attach each piece to each individual circle. Now that these 2 pieces have dried, I remove all of the font on the front using my sander, and now I'm going to weed this piece of contact paper so that I can apply the word beautiful onto the sign. The font I chose was a bit too big for the sign, so a quick snip of the scissors and everything is good. I went ahead and also applied the word I am at the very top. These 2 shades of hearts is what I'm going to be putting to fill in that little space next to I am, as I'm going to be using the little picture of the little bear on her wall itself. Now I'm using my ruler just to get an idea of the space out to make sure it is as even as possible, and I'm going to be using my drill to put holes into the bottom section. Now that all the holes are done, I'm grabbing a piece of my sanding block and I'm going to sand each hole down smooth. Now it's time for me to put each of these twine pieces through the bottom part so they can dangle on the actual sign. Now I'm making sure to actually have them how long I want each one to be before I put a simple knot to tie them all off and use my scissors to cut off all the excess twine. To hang this on the wall, I'm going to use the excess piece of twine I cut off a little bit before and hot glue it on the back. I really felt that I needed to put a little bit more on the front, so I'm using a piece of my sponge and some white acrylic paint to just dabble all around, let it dry, and then I got my sanding block to just sand off little areas to make it not as white, and I really enjoyed how this came out. I would love to know which one you thought was the best DIY. Which one would you actually do for someone or for yourself? If you're a subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing to me and watching my video. If you're a new viewer, thank you for checking me out. Have a great day, everyone.